First stretch we're going to jump into is what we call the couch stretch. The name coming from something you can literally do off the front of your couch. Um, I'm using a bench here as a prop. You can use your desk chair in your office, whatever you have handy. Now, if you lack the mobility to get into this first position, that's okay. You can use a pillow, you can use a yoga block. You can even prop your foot up against the wall if you need to. So what we're going to start with is we're going to raise that back foot, almost like we're getting set up for a split squat. Drive that knee straight down, get it as tight to this as you possibly can. So you can see my back foot's elevated. This foot should be touching my butt if possible. If you don't have the mobility to do that, a lot of y'all don't, that's why you're here. That's okay, just elevate this foot. You can even prop it up against the wall. You can use a pillow, whatever you have. Some of you will actually start with this foot on the ground, and that's okay. Hey, just start, we all start somewhere. From here, I'm putting all my weight in this foot and on this knee, and I'm just gonna push forward by squeezing my glutes. And as I do that, I kind of push my belly forward. We're really going after this front hip flexor, the psoas muscle, as I drive my hips forward. Big stretch on the front hip flexor. If you've been sitting at a desk all day with your hips in flexion, you're gonna feel this one right here. Drive forward. If this feels good and you want to extenuate it a little bit more, progress that stretch. Take that arm, reach over and across, rotate, and you can just kind of rotate your torso side to side and see what you feel there. But big stretch on that front hip flexor, the couch stretch. Next up, I call this, it's a version of the cobra, is what I like to call it, a spin-off of the cobra pose of yoga. So if you've been sitting at a bench, a desk all day, hunched over, which if you've been sitting at a desk, trust me, you've probably been hunched over a little bit. This is very good for opening up those shoulders, the upper trapezius, the muscles behind the neck, the ones that are really nice and tight, that give you that neck pain, that shoulder pain. Some people would have lower back pain from this just because they sit hunched over all day. So got a 5-pound weight. The size of the weight is irrelevant. It's really the width. So you can use a yoga block. You can use, I've used things in my office like a stapler, whatever. This just keeps my elbows in position. So that's going to be your prop. You can use a weight in the gym if you have it. So sitting on my knees, I'm going to drive my elbows in. I want them shoulder width apart. The whole point of this prop is so I don't flare my elbows out. I keep my elbows tight. From here, I'm just going to push down into the bench with my elbows as I drive my head down in between my shoulders, pushing those shoulder blades back towards the ceiling and around like the back, the upper part of my upper back, right? So the scapula are going up and around as my head goes down. Once I get down here, if I want to extenuate the stretch a little bit, I can turn the head side to side, big stretch on the upper trap, right? If that feels good and you want to take it a little bit deeper, you can start to extend the arms a little bit. You can even start to flex and extend your lumbar spine and really get a good stretch on those lower and mid lats. And then you can even kind of swish your hips side to side and get a really good stretch on the internal, external obliques. And this next stretch is for a little muscle on the side of the hip called the TFL. A lot of people aren't even aware of this muscle, and they're definitely not aware of how much trouble it can cause. Tightness in hips, tightness in your lower back, tightness in a lot of things. They're going to see knee pain come from this. And once we started working on their TFL and stretching them out, they saw a significant difference in that knee pain. So this one's a little bit more advanced. If you can't do this off the bench this low, you can literally do this up against the wall, like just enough to get that stretch in the side of the hip. It'll make a little bit more sense once we get in here. So I'm just going to lean into this bench and putting all my weight into this elbow. As you can see, I got one leg laying on its side, the other leg folded in front of me. And from here, almost like a side plank, TFL sits right there on the side of the hip. I'm just going to drive this hip straight down. It's almost like I'm trying to touch the floor with my hip. If you can, which you probably can't, that's okay. You're just going to push down, getting a big stretch on the obliques, the TFL, the side of that hip, as I push down, driving in with that foot that's flat against the ground. This knee, I can kind of whittle it a little bit closer to the bench as I drive that hip down. Big deep breaths the whole time, okay? And I just push my hips down. Great stretch for the side of the hips, the TFL. I'll come back up. Once again, if you can't do this off the side of a bench and you can't get to this point of mobility just yet, that's okay. Just do it off the side, like as I'm literally standing up against the wall, and just angle your body down as much as possible. Show you what the back side of this looks like. So once again, elbow up, I'll lay that leg across, and I'll just kind of keep this leg out as I get deeper into the stretch. I'll bring that foot a little bit closer to my body as I push straight down, and just getting that big stretch on the side of the hips, that TFL muscle that causes so many issues with us people that sit at desks all day.